How powerful is a 38 Special really? When we get down to brass tacks, how powerful is it? Well, I have some Buffalo Bore 38 Special. It is a +P. And it is a 158 grain lead semi-wad cutter. Essentially, it is the FBI load. Let's see how powerful a 38 Special really is. I'm gonna run it through the chronograph, see what kind of numbers we get, and then we'll hit some water jugs of wood and see what happens. So let's get started here. I'm going to confirm these are 38 Special here. I'm not trying to pull a fast one. These are not 357 Magnums or anything like that. And we'll run them through the chronograph here. See what kind of velocity we get. We're from about 7 yards. $11.88. 11.45. 11.52. 11.42. And 11.43. Good amount of recoil there, but you're talking a lot of muzzle energy there. Much more than a 9mm. So let's hit the water jugs and wood and see what happens. Alright, my water jug test. We'll see what we get with that. Actually got me pretty wet. Would you look at that first jug? Oh my gosh. That's pretty serious damage. 1, 2, 3, 4. And we went through 4 and it exited out the 4th jug to the side. Let me run that again. Alright, let's try it again on water jugs, see what we get. One, 2, 3. This is interesting. Sticking out the back of the 3rd jug, we have that bullet, and as you can see, what's coming out is actually the base, because it has that gas check on there. If you don't know what a gas check is it's basically covering the base of the bullet so you don't burn that lead. And you can still get really high velocities without burning the base of the bullet and still get that slick effect on the sides of the bullet. So let's see what we got for this bullet here. Chewed up soft lead. Man. Sideways you're talking at least 75 1/100ths of an inch. That's a big old nasty bullet there. Alright, trying to hit some 2x4s with this load and see what happens. Okay. It crushed the water jug on the back here. I'm not exactly sure what I got going on here yet. It went right through this first board, no problem. Second board, you can't even see how big that hole is yet, because it's all filled with wood. And then look at the 3rd board. Just with impact force, it crushed the wood. So that bullet is going to be out the back almost of the 2nd board. Looks like I can split it open and pull it out. Let's see what it looks like. I'm not able to pull that bullet out. My ATV took a conk and all my tools and everything's in it. I don't have it with me, but you see it coming out the back right here. And I can't get this thing split open to see it. Alright, let's go over to the table and talk about this round a little bit. Alright, here's that Buffalo Bore 158 grain +P semi-wad cutter, lead semi-wad cutter. Now, I know what you're probably thinking. Most people have the idea that the 38 Special is a weak and anemic cartridge based on the fact that modern day ammunition is not loaded to its maximum potential. Rather, it's loaded to 1898 specifications so that a person does not, blow up an older firearm and get injured. Metallurgy 120 years ago was not what it is today, so they had to pretty much anytime you make a 38 Special cartridge, you have to make it to SAMI specs, basically, which is 17,000 psi. That's the industry standard to do that. Now, most modern 38 Special revolvers, and certainly a 357 Magnum can be used as well, is chambered for +P. Even this 10.8 ounce gun here is chambered for +P ammunition. So this cartridge in itself is really not that overpressured like a lot of people think it is. You're talking 20,000 psi is what this is at. Now compare that to a 357 Magnum. That's 35,000 psi. Even a 9mm 9x19 is 35,000 psi. So this is not overpressured at all. Now what Buffalo Bore does to make this such an effective cartridge is pretty simple. They load them to maximum pressure while they're using a lead bullet. You might ask, why is that important? Well, the reason for using a lead bullet instead of a copper jacketed bullet is very simple. Lead has less friction going down the bore than copper or a copper jacket, which will give the lead bullet a substantial gain of velocity over its copper jacketed counterpart with any given powder charge. What most people have is the misconception that Buffalo Bore is making overpressured out of specification cartridge. And in fact, they do produce a few loads in other calibers, such as like the 40 +P or the 357 Magnum +P or anything labeled +P+. It is not an official designation by the Sporting Arms and Ammunition Institute. However, this +P loading is basically the old FBI load, and it is still in the parameters of SAMI specs, running at a modest pressure of only 20,000 psi. So it's not really overpressured in the way people think it is. And the bottom line of this ammo is that you get near 357 Magnum energy, but out of a 38 Special +P round. And that is achieved simply by doing what I previously explained. Using a lead bullet to reduce bore drag and loading the maximum pressure. Also using a 158 grain bullet also helps it achieve more pressure by putting a longer, heavier bullet deeper in the case, so you can get that pressure with less gunpowder. In short, the purpose of a +P cartridge like this is to get near Magnum power with 38 Special +P recoil. Another benefit is to get slightly quicker reloads, being shorter in overall length as compared to a 357 Magnum. This would be a great choice for a light snubby such as an LCR chambered in 357 Magnum, or any other light gun chambered in 357 Magnum. Because with a jacketed 357 Magnum load, in a gun like that, you would get about 400 foot-pounds of muzzle energy as compared to maybe 600 out of a 4-inch barrel. But with something like this, you're going to get about 350 foot-pounds of energy out of a little snubby such as this. So you're going to get close to what you're going to get out of a Magnum, but with a little bit less recoil than a 357 Magnum, simply by, like I said before, having less drag on that lead bullet. So you have to use overall less powder. Now this 38 Special load is the real deal. It's very close to the power to the old, the old style FBI load. Most of the loads now are weakened down a little bit, but the old FBI load was something like this. So in conclusion on a round like this, I say it's a true loading of the 38 Special FBI load. And it can stand toe-to-toe with any 9x19 or 40 caliber loading out there as far as energy. And really, this load pretty much takes the 38 Special back to where it should be, as being one of the best handgun cartridges ever created. It really is. It's very powerful. It's a good cartridge overall. Now I did have a little bit of issue here, even out of this heavy gun. One of the rounds, even though they're crimped very well, it started to set back a little bit. So that was a little bit disappointing. I put it in as my first shot on the water jug test to prevent it from pulling out anymore. But a gun like that, it shouldn't pull out. And I would never shoot it out of a gun like this for that reason. This gun is labeled as 38 Smith & Wesson Special+P, jacketed. And it's labeled as jacketed only specifically for that same purpose, because the very thing that is causing the increase in velocity by reducing drag with that lead is the same thing that inside the case you're going to reduce friction as well. So that extra recoil can cause bullet pull with that soft lead alloy. Overall though, I would say it's a good load for a 357 Magnum. My experience today is it's really probably a little bit too much for something like a snubby revolver. It would be okay for a 357 that's heavy, but you know, I did experience that bullet pull a little bit even with this heavy gun, so I'd be very cautious with a load like this. But if you do want some energy, it's going to match, actually not match, but beat a 9x19 out of just a 38 Special. This does it. So that's my rundown of this Buffalo bore, and it's going to show you really how powerful a 38 Special really can be with the right loading, and it's really not overpressured. It's 20,000. A +P plus is 22,000. This is only 20,000. Compare 20,000 to a 9x19 is 35,000. Yeah, it's not really overpressured. It's not what people think it is, but overall it's a powerful cartridge. So that's my rundown of it. And as always, thanks for watching.